Hello everyone and thanks for tuning in on today's video looking closely into the severe weather possible for the UK. We will look at the next 7 to 10 days out, so let's get started. Also quick to heads up, I am also a little bit ill, so I'm very sorry if I'm coughing or sniffing a lot on this video. But we will try to do the best we can do today. So as you can see, we have got Storm Eowyn, I think so you say it. Storm Eowyn approaching the UK on Friday. This will bring very strong winds and disruption on Friday. Storm Eowyn is expected to pass close to or across the northwest of the UK on Friday before clearing to the northeast on Saturday. While there is some uncertainty in the track of Eowyn, a spell of very strong winds is likely initially southeasterly before turning westerly, with peak gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour inland, 60 to 70 around some coasts and hills, and perhaps up to 80 miles per hour in exposed parts of western Scotland. So as you can see, this warning has a low likelihood and medium impact. So we could see closer to the time that this likelihood increases as well as the impact increases. So we could actually see some areas which could be issued for an amber warning from the Met Office. And this warning was just released 2 hours ago. If we look at the surface pressure charts, so we have got a low pressure starting to form across the Atlantic on Thursday, Wednesday midnight. So we've got that low pressure there moving through. It undergoes cyclogenesis as a jet stream really starts to fire up towards the UK. And a cyclogenesis is basically where a low pressure drops 24 HPA in 24 hours. So as you can see, it goes from 991, that is how low the pressure is, to 967. So that has definitely dropped 24. And it goes 959 as it approaches the UK. As you can see, got some real tightening isobars on the southern, that type of flank. So we've got on the southern flank. But just before that, we will have an occluded front moving through, which could actually bring some possible rumbles of thunder and lightning within this area, but we will look closely into that at the end of the video. But as you can see, that low pressure centers itself just off the coast of Ireland. This is for Friday, early hours Friday, and then Friday 12 PM it's already moved up to western parts of Scotland, which will then clear up into just east of Scotland. So if we look at the jet stream, and this jet stream has been powered up because we have got an Arctic blast across America, and where that contrast sits between the Arctic blast and the warm air, we are going to see that jet stream really fire back up heading towards us, which is why we're now going into a very stormy spell. So as you can see, Thursday midnight we're now getting this jet stream really ramping up towards the UK. This is where the low pressures will start to fire up. And then we also have another fire up of the jet stream across Sunday, 3 o'clock, which will head into the UK again and keep going into the UK until Monday, but we will not look any further than that. If we look at the WX charts, this is the GFS showing the precipitation, cloud, pressure, and yeah, that was it. So as you can see, we've got that occluded front moving in across parts of Scotland and parts of England as well as Ireland on Thursday, which we'll look closely whether there's going to be some storm activity in this distinct area, which we could see a squall line. So eyes on that till the end of the video. And as you can see, that low pressure, which is now named as Storm Eowyn, is now approaching Ireland at Friday early hours, which has given possible significant snow, quite surprisingly, for north parts of Ireland and possibly some hills in Wales, as well as northern England and for parts of Scotland. So as you can see, that low pressure centers itself just west of Ireland, which will then move up into that position in the next 24 hours. So as you can see, that moves through, really tightening isobars within these areas. So all of these areas here have got really tight isobars, as you can see, and this is where the winds will, its peak. We will look at the winds close in a second. And we've also got another little feature moving in across parts of south of Ireland, which could make a possible snowmaker for some, but we will look closer at that to the time on our Twitter page, so make sure you're following us at Convective UK on X, must I say. And then we've got another low pressure moving in for Monday. We're in the exact same position as before, but we can see there's tightening winds in on the western flank, not really on the southern flank. So if we look at the wind gust now for Storm Eowyn, and as you can see, that occluded front is going to bring some quite strong wind gusts into parts of England, where we could see anywhere from 40 to 55 miles per hour winds, as well as that Storm Eowyn really starting to undergo cyclogenesis, which is where the winds will rapidly pick up. So you can see within this distinct area, we can see anywhere from 70 to 100 miles per hour. Mainly that 100 miles per hour will be seen just off the coast or across exposed coastal areas, with anywhere from 50 to 70 elsewhere. So as you can see, that will move through and refire back up in the Irish Sea, which it will affect northwest parts of England. So if the Met Office was going to issue an amber warning, I would suspect they issue it anywhere from in this area here or within this area here of where it re-deepens on the departure. So I was on the Met Office, and let's see whether they issue an amber warning or not. But if I was going to issue an amber warning, that's where I would think to issue it. And as you can see, that Monday we've got another storm moving in, which will bring some quite strong winds into England, which could be anywhere from 50 to 75 miles per hour with that. Now if we look at the ECMWF, just to see a comparison between the two models, so as you can see, the ECMWF has a much remarkably lower low pressure, so much deeper low pressure we can see. So that low pressure just based off the west of Ireland, with much stronger winds from anywhere from 90 to 130 miles per hour, but this should hopefully die out just before reaching Ireland. However, we could still see the wind gusts peak within this area here and this area here. Excuse me. So that in this area here we could see anywhere from 70 to 100 miles per hour again. So we got to keep a real close eye on this, as this is quite severe. And then if we move into Monday, we have that low pressure a bit more different. So we have that low pressure centered over here, whereas the GFS said these winds here would be across England. So as you can see, it's a bit too far out to say where this low pressure is going to end up, but we will have another low pressure moving in across Monday. Now, if we look at the icon model, so this is more a shorter range and a higher resolution model to look at now, as we're moving into the more higher resolution time frame. So as you can see, this is Thursday 3 PM, and we have those winds starting to pick up in the English Channel, parts of Wales, and northern England. And this is for that first front moving through just before that Storm Eowyn approaches. So as you can see, that low pressure approaches, rapidly deepening on its left rear flank. And then that moves into Ireland, bringing possible 100 to 110 miles per hour within this area. So that's quite concerning from this model here. And if we move it further, that low pressure deepening as it moves into the Irish Sea and affecting northwest England, where we could see anywhere from 80 to 100 miles per hour there. But hopefully that will not happen, because we do not want that to happen at all, because that is quite dangerous wind speeds to see. So if we go a bit further ahead now, and then we're starting to see that next low pressure feature coming up across the Atlantic. So if we look at the arpegge model quickly, so this will be the last model to look at for the low pressure coming our way. So we've got Thursday, winds starting to pick up across England and parts of Ireland, which then Friday, Thursday midnight, we're seeing that low pressure rapidly deepen, which looks to be more like an outlier, so I'm not going to go with this model. But however, this low pressure is centered up here, whereas other models center low pressure down here with a much less wind speed on that low pressure. So I feel like this arpeggiated model is an outlier. However, we do have to also take this into consideration that it is still 4 days out. So the models still don't know yet. That's why the Met Office highlighted that uncertainty of where that low pressure is going to be. But on this case, I think this one it will be an outlier. So that's more of a scaremonger, let's say. Now, if we look at the array model, so if we look at Thursday's occluded front, whether we are going to see a school line of that or not, because that does look pretty, yeah. So as you can see, that occluded front moves through, and you can see, let's just change the color quickly. As you can see, as that low starts to move through, we've got an area of intense / torrential rain moving into parts of England, with also of it back building as well. So we can, as you can see in this area here, we've got a feed of intense showers forming, and this will be where we could see some possible thunderstorms on Thursday. So as you can see on the convective available potential energy chart, this is the Cape chart, for where we determine where the energy is and how much a storm could feed in within that energy to produce however much lightning it could produce. So on this case, just because of the time how it is, we're in winter at the moment and we're not in convective season yet, so we're only going to probably expect isolated possible sporadic lightning across the Bristol Sea Channel, English Channel, and possible southwestern England, as well as parts of Ireland possibly, but we'll be updating everyone closer to the time frame, which will be, we will have an outlook done by hopefully Wednesday evening on our X page, which will be tomorrow. So make sure you're following our X if you haven't already, which is Convective UK. And if we quickly look at the ECMWF based Swiss HD, and we use this model quite a lot for our convective forecasts because they have been highly accurate in the past. So we can see that school line starting to develop across the Bristol Channel, just off the coast of southwest England, which these pink symbols do highlight a thunderstorm light / moderate, whereas if you see darker colours, that means a thunderstorm severe, where you could most likely see frequent lightning with that one. So as you can see, as that school line starts to move through, you've got a feature of thunderstorms within its backwards, or within its front, sorry. And then that low pressure moves through, and you've got a more thunderstorms affecting parts of central southern England, parts of Wales possibly, and then parts of southeast England. So I just wanted to cover that risk, just because that will be a convective outlook we will have to issue tomorrow evening. But our team will look closely at the details, whether we do need to issue one or not, because it all depends on how much lightning we could see. But however, we'll be issuing a lot of outlooks within the upcoming days on our X page, and possibly we may even upload another video later this week on a Friday or Saturday. So make sure stay tuned, subscribe and like the video so we can get on, that video can be suggested to more people. So I appreciate everyone for tuning by, and I hope this video helped everyone with their weather update regarding this week and into next week. So I thank you all, and I hope you have an amazing week.